Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, throw open your windows and call out to your neighbors. It's that time. That's right, folks. It's time for John Perrotta's Comedy Chat, Zoomalooza, sponsored in part by Noxzema. And now, the guy that can appreciate a fresh, clean face, your host, John Perrotta.
Mike Cronin, my good friend, also known as the bad boy of comedy in the early 90s. And we got now he's got an organization, Laughter and Hope Ministries, puts together shows. And we also have my good friend, my great friend, my baby sister, Stacy Kendro. Stacy.
Hey, guys.
We're going to go to Stacy first because she's got stuff going on tonight. What's going on with you, Stacy?
So, it's hard to find an apartment in New York. So my buddy got like a 1-bedroom. So I'm helping him paint. And that's how we do, New York is like, it's rough. It's like, yo, I got a new apartment. He put in one of my apartments, he put in an air conditioner. Let me tell you, that air conditioner was everything. So, we do shit like that for each other because we're all single. We're broke, divorced, loser comics.
I should have went out there when I was divorced.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Stacy's cool. Stacy showed up when I was at Dangerfields, and I did her. She runs a show at the Greenwich Village Comedy Club. I went over there a couple of times.
Here a couple more times.
I'm sorry, Mommy.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's your buddy's name?
Tommy.
So, what's going on in New York? You ready to paint?
Dangerfields. I mean, a lot of these clubs, and that might not come back. It was, I don't want to just single that one out, but I mean, some of these clubs, if they don't have if it's not a restaurant or something during the day, how are they staying afloat? And I think a lot of them were barely surviving before all this happened. And Manhattan rents, I mean, I just can't see how many months it's been. I mean, and they're not trying to figure out some way to make money online. If, a lot of the owners are older, they're not making the jump, making the leap to, I'm not making the leap. I'm not that old, but I'm not making the leap really. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough. All the restaurants I was booking, none of them are going to do it this year. I got the word the other day, and the last two of them that they're not going to do any shows this year. So rough. It's a rough stretch for comedy, that's for sure.
It's and not even just comedy. I was talking to somebody in an office at
everything really. Yeah.
And she said that they weren't opening till 2021. I mean, and this is just a regular office thing, and it's just it's sort of surprising. So a lot of places have just that's what they let it go. They're not going to open. It's crazy. This whole year is like a wash. Not to get on the negative side. We should do some funny. We should talk about something funny.
I know, but we got to get through it. That's how we're getting through it. But it's tough. You gotta keep positive in a pandemic. You know what I mean? You got to stay positive.
Only half of us are going to die, and then the remaining people are going to be annoying. Can't get a break.
And the other 5% will get a sitcom.
I want to know about Mike Cronin's. We never worked together. So you down in Rhode Island?
I am in Rhode Island. Yes, I am, Stacy. John and I have been the best of friends. We met in 1991. And as I said many times, and John Perrotta always gets humble, and he goes, I don't know about that bad boy.
It's a good impression of him.
Stacy, I have more John Perrotta stories than Carter's has pills. John and I have done more shows together than legally allowed by law. It was through meeting John that I went from 3 minutes to 5 minutes, 5 to 7, 7 to 10, and then a couple of years, 45 to an hour closing shows. I love this man with all my heart. We've had so much fun throughout the years. Matter of fact, today he comes by my house, and this is how you can tell you're getting old. I'm 62, John's 62. So I'm like, dude, can you spin me down to Walgreens so I can pick up my prescription? I'll put my mask on and I'll get in the back seat. So we're driving in John's car, and I live in North Providence. I'm probably the only Irish person in North Providence. It's a highly demographic Italian area. I'm in John's back seat. He's got a mask on, and as he's talking to me, I'm saying to myself, this is very much like a scene from The Sopranos. Am I going to get whacked in the parking lot? Because we all know how John talks. So we pull up, I run in, get my prescription, come back out. John and I have had a lot of laughs. And then
Then we both took naps. I went home and took a nap. And he took a nap.
Yeah, I took a nap, right? So check this out, dude. So I come home, I get myself on my couch, I'm rocking my Boston Red Sox. So I'm glad to see that Boston B across your bosom, young lady. I'm loving that you're representing the Red Sox. So I said, you know what, man? I'm going to take a nap. Now, my granddaughter calls me Grampy Mike. So I said, okay, you got to make sure you wake up on time. So I got everything all plugged into my cell phone so it comes off with the alert. Dude, I go out. Grampy Mike's guy, I got saliva drool coming down the side of my face. I am out like a light. I was dreaming, Stacy, dreaming vividly that we were doing this live at a club. And I was like in a green room and talking to people. And then, you know, when you come out of like a REM sleep, you're like, oh, where am I? I like jump up. I immediately look to my refrigerator clock to see what time it was. Like, whew, thank you, Jesus. I didn't blow it. I'm in time for the big event here. And
did you ever meet Stacy? You never met Stacy all the years I worked with both you guys.
You know, I know who Stacy is. I know who Stacy is. I've known who she is for a long time. I have watched her comedy on YouTube. I think Stacy is absolutely hilarious. I love when
get out of here.
I'm telling you, Stacy. I've
my iTunes videos.
I've watched all that stuff that you do. All of it. I've watched it all. And when you come on here and you do your characters, man, I sit here. Let me tell you something. As a booker, and I book shows for decades, as John does. I am a comedian's best friend. There have been headliners that I have had to walk outside the venue to catch my breath because I'm laughing so hard I'm seeing the sparkle stars above my eyes. And when you come on and watching you, same thing.
She does a great job.
God has blessed you, Stacy, immensely.
Oh my God, you can stop. Oh my God, no, go on. You know, say, oh, come on. No, go on.
I speak the truth. I thoroughly enjoy you. You.
Next time, one of these times, I'll have to, when things get back to normal, book you guys together at some point.
I know. It's like, we'll see how September goes, right, John? I mean, like, we have a gig in September, and what else do I have? Well, I'm trying to think if I have anything else.
I'm not going to be in it, but I got you there.
Well, I did a show for my buddy, the one who came on last time, the Vinny from Sanitation guy.
Yeah, how did that go? The guy Rich?
I mean, you know, it was a train wreck, but it was like, you know.
Was that at the strip club?
But a fun train wreck, yeah.
They do comedy and then it's a strip club.
The comedies were bad. The strippers were bad. Everybody was bad. I mean, people enjoyed it though. It's not like it was bad. Like it's socially distanced. You know, you can't get the audience on a roll because there's not really much of an audience. People came out, like friends came out. It was great, but at the same time, me and the other comedians were rusty. You know, it's just we're outside sweating. It was just, but I'm glad that we're trying something. So you got to just have low expectations when you do these things. Like, let's just do it because we need to like try to have normalcy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, people are doing it on the tents at drive-ins, all kind of stuff. Yeah, I did a show. I did a show last year in July. It was outside. Like she's running around over there talking. I did a show last July outside. It was a graduation party. And it was, I don't know if it felt like 125 degrees. I sweated so bad. I got off stage. I got in my car, put the air on. I was like dying. Outside shows in the heat. I can't do them.
Right.
Stacy.
All right, well, I'm gonna go paint, but you know what? My mother, she came, you know how
your mother stopped in?
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
I love your mother.
I told her, I said, Ma, will you just let me just do that? I just gotta paint. Like, I just don't, you know what I mean? And she's like, hey, can't. All right, Ma, they're gonna let you on. Just hold on, let me get her. Hold on.
All right. I've met her mother before, Mike. She's wicked cool.
I've never met her mom.
Oh, you never met her mother?
I've never met her mom. This is my first time meeting Stacy.
Oh, is this the comedians? Oh my goodness, it's so nice that the comedians to run. Are you guys are you Rhode Island comedian? I've never been to Rhode Island. I'm from the Midwest, and I've just never been. And Rhode Island must be just so beautiful.
beautiful with all those Italian men and the Portuguese. A lot of Portuguese, right? In Rhode Island, is that right?
Portuguese, Italian, we got everything.
Are they all fishermen? These Portuguese? Do they eat a lot of fish?
Fishermen.
Men? Do they eat a lot of fish? Does that make them have prowess? Is that why,
my goodness! Look at how red my face
died,
is.
so I wouldn't mind having a nice Portuguese man making me some fish. I mean, that would be very nice, actually.
You should come up here. We'll get you set up with a Portuguese guy.
Oh my goodness, I would let my daughter, I have to go. If my daughter wants to go, I'll go. I don't like to travel by myself because, I don't drive very well. And, these glasses, I can't even see what the hell I'm looking at, to be honest with you. But if my daughter drives, I'll go with her. And we can do the road trip, honey. We're going to go on a road trip to Rhode Island.
Ma, oh my God, be quiet.
No, see, but she gets annoyed with me. But I honestly would love that. And look how cute you two are. Maybe we should go on a triple date or something like that. All right. I'm gonna let you guys go. You're so cute, and make sure you keep doing the comedy because everybody needs comedy. You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful.
Mom, it's great seeing you.
Okay, bye guys. It's so nice to see you.
It was great meeting you, Mrs. Kendro. It was great meeting you, Stacy. Before you go, I pray God's favor over you. You are so talented. I pray that God swings open venues for you to go and bring that comedy out.
Stacy, come in here. He's giving you all kinds of compliments. And he's single too, You should talk to this man. He's from Rhode Island. He's giving you all kinds of compliments. He's saying how funny you are. You always complain about everything with comedy. She always complains about comedy, You should hear her talk about bookers. It's terrible. It's terrible what she said. Come over here, Stacy, and come talk to the guys before.
Stacy, your mom's great.
Oh my goodness gracious! That made my day, my week, my month. I got to talk to Mrs. Kendro.
Kendro's crazy.
She's crazy, Stacy.
Like her.
How old is she?
Love her.
Oh, she's in her. She doesn't.
Don't you tell him how old I am now.
Listen, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bring her. I will bring her to the Rhode Island show. I think she should go on stage and say hi to everybody.
You have
I think so. Yeah.
Right?
If you don't bring Mrs. Kendro, I will be deeply disappointed.
She's awesome.
All right, you guys. Well, I'm gonna let you go because I'm gonna paint. We prepped and everything. We sanded. We're all ready. So I'm gonna go.
You're gonna do the walls, Stace? What are you rolling the walls?
Painting the walls. That's right.
Now this is your new
New York
place.
City.
What?
This is your new place that you're in right now. That you're doing this.
No, it's my buddies. It's my buddy's place.
You're a good friend, stepping up to help a friend. You're a good friend. God bless you.
Oh, God bless you guys too. All right,
Stace, I'll see you soon, Stace.
Nice meeting you.
I'll see you at the next Zoom. And Mike, you can come do my Zoom too if I ever do another one.
Hey, I'd be honest, Stacey. It was a pleasure meeting you tonight.
Yeah, you'll do more. I'll have you on again soon. All right.
Talk to you guys later.
All right, Stace.
Take care,
Tommy, I
Stacy.
said good luck out there.
Bye.
All right. Bye, Stace. She's too
Wow.
much.
She is hilarious. I love that character. I love how she gets right up on the lens, so you were looking right up her nasal cavity. That was hilarious. And the voice she does is it's fantastic.
I wish I did characters like some of the comics do. Like she's got a few, Wish I did. I just got the Italian accent going. That's about it, Mike.
That's all you need, brother. That's all you need is your accent.
People, I'm not offended. But people hear me talk that don't even know I'm a comedian. I don't care where I am. I'm on the phone with somebody yesterday. A doctor's appointment I had to make later this month. It was a secretary I hadn't talked to yet. At the end of the call, I can hear her laugh as she's hanging up. When they hear my accent, they laugh.
Yeah.
It used to bother me. I used to have a complex about it. I remember a comedian that passed away. I won't mention his name. At the Great Imposter years ago, in Warwick, he told me, the way you talk with that accent, he says, you'll never amount to anything in comedy. The way you talk.
Really?
I swear to God. Now, he passed away, God rest his soul. But that bothered me when he said that. It was like 1991, 92. And I never forgot that. But I know the way I talk is different. I sound like I don't know what, a mob guy or whatever you want to say. I sound like I'm right from Italy or whatever. But you know what? It's been good for my act. Because
Right.
when I get up there, I project, I'm loud, and the biggest thing in comedy, they get half of it, they got to hear you. You could be the
Right.
funniest guy in the world. If they can't hear you, it's what good is it? So when I get up there, I project and I get this, the way I talk. I think people goof on the way I talk.
Right.
And, I get them laughing. And it's a win-win. But when people that don't know me and I get on the phone or I'm at a store, they hear me talk, I swear to God, they laugh. They laugh. I think it's comical. I don't care,
They either laugh, or if you call places like restaurants that are hard to get into, once they hear you talking, they must say, man, we better give this guy a reservation. Like, I was watching one of your shows the other night. I forget who it was. It was a guy, and he said, hey, I think it was Ralph Joyle. Ralphie said, told his wife, hey, honey, I'm working with this new booker. Yeah, I think he's connected, so I'm not going to borrow any money from him. But you do. You sound like you're cast right from The Sopranos, and it works. It's who you are. I'm very surprised that that comic would tell you, to lose that accent. I think from Rhode Island, we all have a certain dialect that we talk. I know I have a good friend, C, if you're watching, God bless, I love you. She told me years ago, back in the 90s, she said, you butcher the English language. It's how we talk. And in my day job, before I retired, I would call around the country to different car dealerships. So I had this one girl ask me, where you from? So I tell her, she goes, are you Italian? I said, no, I'm from Rhode Island. This is how we all sound. This is how we all sound in here. Now, you being Italian with that dialect, it's just a beautiful marriage.
It's different. I've come to realize, because I travel all over the world in the Navy, and wherever I went, it's the way I talk is people. It's different. It stands out, I guess.
It's who you are. Can you lean back? I want to see that shirt you're wearing there. Look at that. I love that. Dude, I love that.
Shirt, I think Bruce Lee gave this to my father.
I'm telling you. I like that.
I don't know quite what it means. And in the back, there's I don't know what this is. I got all kind of things. I bought it. I like the shirt, but I have no idea what these symbols mean.
I might borrow that shirt.
It could mean something crazy.
Get tattoos like that. That's pretty cool. You're rocking it, man.
You like this shirt?
Yeah, it's like a tribal band tattoo shirt for those that don't want to get tattoos. I like it. It's very stylish.
When I was in the Navy, Mike, I was drunk one night, and I was by myself. I went into a tattoo place. It was gigantic, and I looked through the whole place. I went all on the walls. They had all different tattoos. I was going to get a tattoo. I looked at every one of them, and I said, I can't find one that I would want on me for the rest of my life. And I walked out, and I never got a tattoo. That was the only time I come close. I was, like I said, I was drunk, so I'm gonna get a tattoo. And probably a good thing I didn't, because God knows what I would have got. You know what I mean? I'll
tell you, man. Knowing you like I do, it is a miracle that you don't have like full sleeves from your time in the Navy. I can't believe that you served our country. Thank you for doing so, and that you walked away without one tattoo. That is incredible.
Yeah,
that is crazy. Incredible.
Yeah, me and my buddies, I don't remember them getting tattoos either. I mean, sure, a lot of the guys did, but most guys that go in the service do get a tattoo, but just never did, But
I have 8, and the only thing I ever did.
You have 8 tattoos?
I have 8 tattoos. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I have 8 tattoos.
Wow.
8
what
tattoos.
Are they? All different things? What do you got?
Yeah, I've got old ones. I got the first one I got is my name, Mike. That was done. I'll never forget it, man. I'm 18
What's that?
years.
In case you ever buzzed and a cop pulled you over,
right?
Tell them where you were.
Exactly right. Exactly right. I wanted to get a tattoo, so I get up on a Saturday morning. I drive down to Manton Avenue to Rocco's tattoo parlor. So I go in, I tell the guy that I want to get a tattoo. He says, where do you want to get? So I want to get my name. So I tell him where I want to get it. He says, no. He goes, they're doing it down here, closer on the wrist. I said, okay, we'll do it down there then. Here's what he does. Sits down, puts my hand on his knees, takes a toothpick. I'm like, whoa, what are you doing here, toothpick? He goes, relax, I got to draw it first. You got to draw with a toothpick? So he dips it in this ink, John, and in one swipe, he writes Mike. He goes, you like that? I said, yeah. Dips the toothpick back in, does a little fancy swirl thing below it, like that. I said, yeah, I love that. Right above the eye, he dips it again. He does a little star. I said, you like that? Yes, I love that. So then he takes it and he goes with the needle. Now the needle was a little different. The needle was like, and I was done. I was done with it within minutes. He filled it in with red, and it looked really good back then. And then my good friend Kevin Oliver gave me this one. God rest his soul. He is going home to Jesus, great guy. He gave me this one in his living room. He had the whole tattoo
His
thing.
living room?
He had the whole thing, man. He had all the needles, the ink, the whole bit. He lived out in Oakland Beach. Matter of fact, have you ever heard of the Oakland Beach Tuesday night cruise night? All the cars up on the seawall. I don't know if they're doing it this year.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I've been through there when they had that.
Kevin Oliver started that. That was
really?
That was Kevin Oliver's baby. Kevin was a great guy, a great guy, and he gave me that one, and he gave me another one on the other on my other arm. It was two wedding bands put together with Darlene's name and my name and the date on it. Then I got my nickname from when I was a kid, Crow. Look at those guns, boys and girls. That's right. That's right. Grampy Mike works out. Look out. You could pick your teeth with my guns. That's how skinny I am.
See, now in my act, I talk about the one part of my act when I talk about food tattoos. Like I look at a chubby guy, look at me. We should get. So, do you ever think of a great way to make money for a chubby guy? Sausage links around your neck, maybe a eggplant on your ankle or a pizza box on your butt.
Yes,
that, and it goes into some other stuff and food tattoos.
I was laughing the other day, man, so hard. I was watching one of your videos, and you get serious. You tell the people that you would, praise God, had beaten cancer. You go every year for a checkup, and you tell the audience that you went for a CAT scan. Good news, I don't have the cancer, but they found 60 Twinkies merged together. I almost fell off this chair that I was sitting in. I'm like, that is absolutely hilarious.
I actually had that on another bit that I didn't use anymore, and then when I was fortunate, thank God, 5 years cancer free. When I overcame the kidney cancer, I put it into my act that I beat the cancer, and I put the Twinkies into my act, and it worked good. That's how I go on stage, and it worked good.
And the other one that you did, and I'll tell you, man, I almost choked because I was taking a sip. I think I sprayed my computer down. You were telling people, Terry, your wife's story, how she is alive and well and with us. Thank you, Jesus. And you were telling
lung transplant.
You were telling the audience about the double lung transplant. You're out in Cleveland. They're telling you it's not looking good. You better make arrangements. You say to the audience, now being Italian, you think I know how to get a body back to Rhode Island. Yeah, you put it in the trunk. I'm saying he did not just say that about his loving wife.
I swear to God, when they gave her a 2% chance of survival, and they said she a couple more days to go, I'm saying, well, she's not going to make it. So I'm thinking to myself, how do I get the body back to Providence? I'm in Cleveland. So I did go to the social worker, and I said, if she's not going to make it, what do I do? Put her like Weekend with Bernie, put her on a seat, drive back to Providence? Or do I spend $5,000 and they fly her there? Or what? What happens? I didn't know.
Gracious,
she said, well, we'll get to that when she passes. We'll get to that. And then I'll never forget, the phone rang 2:30 in the morning. I thought she passed. And they said, unfortunately, someone passed away, but it's a perfect match to Terry. So we're going to operate in the morning. We couldn't believe it, my daughter and I. And they operated the next day. And I said, I'll never forget when she woke up. I went into the recovery room. She woke up. And she looked at me. I looked at her. And I was blown away. I'm like, the whole story. There's a whole story to it. I got to have Terry on sometime. But I was blown away.
I'll tell you that I hope that Terry does come on and do a Zoom show with you, because that I love Terry. The three of us have been best of friends for like 30 years, and I'll never forget that.
I've been here and there in those 30 years. We had some rough stretches.
Well, I'll never forget that day that you called me up and you said to me, "Bad boy, I need you to pray," and then you told me it was going on with Terry. And we prayed and I prayed. I remember I asked you, I said, is it okay if I post this on my church's wall? And you said yes. And then everybody in my church was praying. Terry's testimony of faith is one that the world needs to hear. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
See, now I haven't done my act since March 15th. When I was seeing, when I walked into the room and she got up off the recovery table and I looked at her, there's a bit to that. And because I haven't been on stage since March 15th, I can't remember the bit. Can you imagine that?
Are you serious?
There's a comedy bit. I'm being honest. I was going to go into it and tell that little bit. My mind went blank. There's a bit that I do. I go in the recovery room. And I think I said, yeah, she got up off the table. It's coming back to me now. She got up off the recovery table, looked up at me, and I said, ex-wife, how did I say it? My mind, see, we haven't done comedy in 5 months.
Yeah.
I remember looking at her, and I said, the child support will continue. We were divorced. I said, the child support will continue. I said, she was like Freddy Krueger, Jason, Mike Myers, Friday the 13th. She comes back to life. Nothing will kill her. She's still here.
That is a good bit.
There's a bit I do to that, but now I'm rusty. I haven't been on stage.
It'll come back.
This is a tough thing because for comics, because we used to get up a lot to stay sharp. And then now you haven't been on stage. Like if I had to get up tomorrow and get on stage, I wouldn't want to do it.
Let me tell you,
I have to look over my videos and remember what I did where, some material. And I know I worked the crowd a lot, but there's a material I have. And so my mind went blank twice tonight on this material.
I would wake you up at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, John, I need you to do an hour in front of 500 people. And I know that roof wouldn't land until next week. And when it landed, it would land in Kansas City. You are one of the funniest people.
I don't know. Not right now.
The earth.
We have to sharpen up, Mike. It's been a while, you know.
I do agree with that. I do agree with that. You know, getting up on a regular basis does keep you sharp. But that being said, you're 30 years in. You've been doing this forever. The game slows down. It's slowed down for you. So when you get back up, you might have a little bit of apprehension. Let me tell you something, John. And I'm confident when I say this to you. As soon as you get that first laugh, you're going to be like, we're back. We're back.
Yeah.
It's going to come. It's going to come.
I look forward to that day. You know, like I said, it's definitely going to be next year sometime, I hope, you know.
Yeah. And I'm blessed because those of you that don't realize this, I manage John's YouTube channel. So I get to watch these videos a lot, and I do. And I go to them and I watch them. And I watch, you know, some of them over and over and over. John and I have been best of friends for 30 years. We met in 1991. What I enjoy in watching you is when you're working the crowd and you ask somebody something, and their answer just blows you away. One of them that comes to mind recently, and I know I've said it before on another Zoom show, you ask this guy, brother, what do you do? And he tells you that he's a martial artist. And then you go, martial arts? The only thing I know about martial arts is opening up a scooter pie and whipping it at some guy's head. I almost fell out of this chair. It was absolutely so funny. Your reaction to the crowd is so genuine, so pure. And they realize that. They realize that. They're like, wow, you know what? He now is laughing with us. That's a beautiful thing to watch that marry and come together. So I'm confident, my brother, when you get back up there, it's all going to come back. It's all going to come back.
I hope so.
I'm telling you.
I'm doing 45-minute sets. Now I don't know if I can do 5-10 minutes. I mean,
you would definitely be able to do it. I'm going to take you back to football. Do you remember the legendary coach of the Washington Redskins, George Allen?
Yeah, oh yeah, when I was a kid, yeah.
George Allen coached the Rams. He coached the Redskins. Now, he was known for having older players, veterans. And they asked him once in an interview when he was with the Redskins, why the older players? Why the veterans? Why aren't you going with a youth movement? And what he said to them is because veterans make less mistakes. So someone like yourself, John, you're 30 years in. You know what it's like to be in front of 500 people, 50 people. Heck, I remember when I booked you at El Basha. 2 people. You're like, bad boy, I can't take the pain. There's only 2 people here.
He wanted me to do the show. It was like 2 or 3 people.
2 people. 2 people.
There were 2 people.
There was 2 people there. There
And
were
you
2.
and the staff. It was about
that
7
was,
or 8 people.
That was about it. That was about it. And
That was a tough night.
That was a tough night. I say that to say this. The experience that you have, it's all going to come back. It all comes back. It really, really, really does. It really does. I can tell you that when we did a show at Sacred Exchange, a Funny for Funds fundraiser, I didn't really have anything planned, because with that show, I booked Mike Murray, God bless him. Mike Murray let us use the Funny for Funds banner and didn't charge us for the show at all. And I told him, I said, Mike, come on, you got to, he said, look, if you're not going to do it the way I want to do it, then I'm not going to let you use Funny for Funds as a banner. I either do it for free or I don't do it at all. So free means he's bringing in all his staging equipment, all his lights. Now, he doesn't have to use the sound system because the church has a great sound system, but there's still a lot of work involved. And when he came that night, you know, he lets me book all the acts. I book all the acts. You're running around. You know what it's like. We're checking tickets a whole bit. So when I got up there to do my set, I had nothing really planned. I was going to do a little bit of political stuff, and I did it, and it face planted really bad. And why it face planted was because the person who was going to put the visuals up on the Jumbotrons wasn't in sync with me, so they didn't go up. But the bit that I did about my dad was the first time I ever said it in my life. And it wasn't a bit that you would close with. It wasn't like rolling in the aisles laughs. It was a good, funny, strong bit, A to Z. And that comes with experience. As a matter of fact, I think I told you that when I left off the altar, went through the sanctuary, through the foyer, out into the parking lot, man, and I just started crying, because it felt so good to be talking about my dad and having people laugh at real life stories about my dad. It felt so great. So all that experience, John, that you've got, all the years you've been making people laugh, when you do come back, it's going to be like John Perrotta 2.0. Wow.
I remember when my dad passed away. I was close to my parents, and my dad passed away Friday, and of course the wake and the funeral was going to be for a few days later. And that Saturday night, I had three shows scheduled that I was in. You know how I do one here, and I'm running here, and I got comedians over there, and I'm running there. And I said, I can't do these shows. And I go to my mother, and I said, you know what? I thought about it. I said, Dad, my father would want me to do these shows. You know what I mean? So I said to myself, I'm going to do the shows and dedicate them to my father. So I did a set at one place. At the end, I had tears in my eyes. I said, I'm dedicating this to my dad. My set tonight, he passed away last night. People were touched, you know. And then I went to the next show. I did the same thing, the next show. And, you know, I get that memory now that my dad passed, and I did 3 shows in honor of him. And I'm glad I did them. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm glad I did them. At the time, I had to think about it a little bit. But then I said, you know what? I'd want my kids, I want them to do whatever, you know, whatever they were doing, you know. Why not, you know? It's
good that you did that. And here's my take on it. You may disagree. By doing that, it helps you, even though you're early on at that pot, it helps you with the grieving in the morning of your dad passing away. 2, that night, it keeps your dad's legacy alive. And even when you tell stories now about your dad, I've heard you tell a few about your 1968 Chevy Impala that you had, that your dad bought your first car. When you tell these stories about your mom and dad, that keeps their legacy alive. That keeps them alive in your heart. I love telling stories about my mom and dad. A major part.
Well, I remember meeting your parents, and you met my parents.
I met your parents. Right, exactly right. Exactly right.
Warwick, Rhode Island. We had an Italian restaurant we did shows at.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I remember going to your house, meeting your parents.
Yeah.
I don't know if I saw them did they ever come to a show? I don't remember. Did they come?
No, you kidding me? My John, if my dad had come to see one of my shows as the bad boy of comedy, he would have got up and pulled me off that stage and unplugged the sound system. You and I did Carol and Fox together. We were in studio. I forget what it was. We were in studio.
It was a benefit. We were promoting a benefit show.
A benefit show, or I figured it was a benefit show. Yes, I think that was that the show that we did. It was Attention to Prevention. We got Charlie Hall in it, Tom Carter.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yep.
So I did. Carolyn Fox had me in studio again by myself. So she says to me, I want to push the envelope as far as we can push it. I'm like, all right. She said, I'm going to give you 2 segments. I said, whoa, I'm getting 2 segments on Carolyn Fox. This is huge.
Yeah,
so
I loved her.
I said to her, this is before we go live. I said to her, when you're closing out the first segment, say to me that you understand my dog ran away and I'm bummed out. All right, we do it. So now she doesn't say to me what you're going to do. I'm just making stuff up in my head. So now I'm going to say it here. I hope I don't offend anybody. I said it on the radio. So she comes back and she says, hey, you know, we got Mike Cronin, the bad boy of comedy with us today. Mike, I understand that your dog ran away. You're not taking this too well. So I go into that, and the punch was, so yeah, Carolyn, I've got friends of mine tell me, Mike, you just got to get another pet. So I said, oh, you know, I'll give it a shot. So I go to this pet store, an exotic pet store, and this lady says, how about a cockatoo? I said, lady, please, a cockatoo. I can hardly handle the one I have right now. Well, Carolyn Fox is rolling. All of the producers are rolling. The next day, John, my dad had a 1975 Cadillac Sedan DeVille, silver with a black top. This was before cell phones. He does not call me on my landline. He gets in the Cadillac and drives from Warwick to North Providence, knocks on the door. I open it up. He doesn't even say hello. Here's what he says. Your mother and I are mortified. I'm like, what are you and Mom mortified for? We heard you on that show. Your mother and I are mortified. I'm like, whoa. One. Why are you mortified? And I understand it. And 2, why are you listening to Carolyn Fox? Why? He follows that up with, everything you do is a reflection on your mother and I, and we're mortified. He turns around. He's walking to the front door. He grabs the front door, as you can see right behind me. He grabs that front door. He looks over his shoulder, and he points at me, and he says, Jack Benny was funny, and he was clean. And he slammed the door. Out he went. Another time, John, I did a bachelor party at the Santa Maria Club in Silver Lake. And I didn't know when it was a Comedy Connection gig, I didn't know when I got there, it was an afternoon gig. It was a nice sunny day. I remember that. And when I get there, there were a lot of my dad's friends there. Remember the backstop in Warwick?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I drank there years ago.
Pop Foster was there. His son was there. A bunch of people there. Now, Pop Foster, who was passed on, was good friends with my mom and dad. Knew them very well. They'd known each other for 100 years. So, you know, I got to do the Bad Boy of Comedy act now at a bachelor party. So take what I did on stage and times it by 10 and throw some steroids in there for a bunch of guys at a bachelor party. That gets back to my dad. It did not go well for me. It did not go, man. And I felt bad. You know, he was embarrassed. He was angry with me, and wow, he never did. I remember when I had testicular cancer. We went back to I rehabbed at my mom and dad's house, and my mom and I sat at the kitchen table all night long, and we were talking, and I told her that it bothered me. One of my regrets is that you and Dad have never come to one of my shows, because back then I'm not patting myself on my back, but thanks to you, John, you kept me busy. My mom and dad used to get a big kick out of it, follow me in the newspaper, the what's happening section. I was working for you 3-4 times a week. And then, you know, as we got deep, those were shows that I was closing. And I felt bad that they never got to see me do that, but I also understood. But here's what my mom said. She said, you're right. Your dad would get mad and he'd unplug the speakers. You're right. But I'd laugh because
They were nice people. I remember meeting them. Yeah,
they were the best. God, you know, John, God has blessed you and I with great parents, because all we have to do is take a look out into the world, and not everybody is or was blessed with good parents like we were blessed. We were blessed. And that, I'll never forget, Pastor Mike told me that after my dad passed away. You know, I don't know how you felt when my mom passed away. You know, I was very close to my mom. She went home to Jesus at 81, and I took it hard. And it, you know, you're sad. So I'm trying to do the best I can to mourn and grieve my mom. And then my dad lived another 5 years after my mom passed away. And when you lose your remaining parent, at least for me, that hit me hard. It hit me so hard. I gave, in that year, one of my best friends, Frank Rosa, tragically passed away on a motorcycle accident. I was a pallbearer and gave his eulogy. Our neighbor of 46 years, Donna Casey, passed away. I went to that wake and funeral. And then my dad passed away. And then 3 weeks after that, and I gave my dad's eulogy and was a pallbearer. And 3 weeks after that, my dad's roommate at West Shore Health Center passed away, Norman. I went to his shiva. That's a Jewish celebration. You know, and you spend, my dad was at the West Shore Health Center for 3.5 years only because he couldn't walk anymore. He had polio. It came back. It's called post-polio syndrome. But Nick went to visit my dad at the nursing home. I've said it here before. I could have rolled my dad on stage in his wheelchair. He'd do a tight 5. My dad was hilarious. He had perfect timing. And when he passed, it just hit me. It hit me so hard. And I went through the grieving in the morning process. And I remember Pastor Mike one time, I got up. And this was, you know, like months later. Pastor Mike sends me this message out of the blue. And here's what it said. You've been knocked to the mat. It's time to get back up. And he was right, because there's a season for grieving and mourning. And Jesus was familiar with grief. And I remember the first show I did after my dad passed away, it was kind of hard, but I can tell you this, John, is I started to move my set into talking about my family and my mom and dad, man, what great joy it brought me. You know what I was really happy about, John? Because my sister, who you know very well, my sister Kate, used to be on me all the time back during the Bad Boy of Comedy days. You're too dirty. You're filthy. You don't have to be that way. And I told her, it's an act. That's not who I am. I hardly say the F word in my regular language. This is just, it's a stage persona that's working for me. You're too dirty. You're too dirty. But that night, when I did that show, and it was at Sacred Exchange, it was a packed sanctuary. It was for the Christmas party. My sister was sitting front row. She was sitting front row, and she got to see her big brother be clean and honor our parents, and it felt great. It felt really good. So to say again, you and I, John, were blessed. I met your mom and dad. Your mom and dad were wonderful people. Wonderful.
Yeah, they were good people. Yeah, my dad passed 19 years ago now. My mom 2003, 17 years ago, January I think it was. Yeah, so it's been it's crazy long time.
Let me ask you this, and I want your honest answer. I see this on like Facebook all the time. Someone's like a memorial comes up, and I do that. I put a tribute up for my mom and dad on their anniversary dates, and people write, there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about you. Do you think about your mom and dad every day? Now, and before you answer me, I can tell you, I don't think every day about my mom and dad. What I do is this. I thank God for blessing me by choosing my mom and dad to be my parents. And there are times that I'll think about them, but I want to know, every day, do you think every day of your
I
dad?
get their pictures up, and so if I don't think about them, then I'll see the picture. You know, I got pictures.
Yep.
I'm a
Yep.
picture guy. I got a lot of pictures of them. All
Yeah.
pictures with my dad and my daughter Gina. Pictures with my mother, with the kids. You know, so I have pictures. If I don't think of them, then I do when I see the pictures. You know,
Right.
I'll remember.
Right.
I'll remember different things. You know what I mean?
Right. I do the same thing. I have pictures of my parents, all about my condo here too. But I just wanted to know if you did.
Before I forget, I was thinking, because you're near Middle Spring Avenue. I remember one New Year's Eve, we were a few years in doing comedy.
Oh,
Not that
no.
long in. I was only in a short time, only a few years, maybe 2, 3, 4 years, and we put together a show, a New Year's Eve show at Julio's Restaurant.
We
It's
took
no
a
longer
leap.
there.
We took a leap of faith.
The brothers, what were their names?
Bobby Montecalvo and his brother John.
Yeah, great guys. And we did a New Year's Eve show. We thought we'll get a crowd. So you came up with the idea to have, it was phenomenal. I had to sing at my retirement party. The band Second and None, Deborah Capola. We had
Yep.
Deborah Capola sing solo that night. She came in and sang. We're going to have her, Tom Carter, America's Got Talent fame, and one of the best comics to ever come out of Rhode Island, a national act, tremendous act now. We had Tom Carter headline. And we were paying some pretty good money even back then.
Yeah.
I remember we had a pretty big budget. We did advertising. And we thought New Year's Eve, you know what I mean? We had a nice meal. I'll never forget it. We sold 20 tickets. We took a beat.
I'll never forget that.
We took a beat.
I don't, to this day, I can't figure that out because I did a lot of shows with Bobby and John at Julio's, and I used to pack them in. And
I did some too there. I always had good crowd. That one night.
When we came up with that idea, man, I thought we were going to be just making it rain. I'll never forget the stage I had back then. Remember? It was on wheels. And I remember when I opened it, I just rolled the stage up to the one table. Oh, we lost our shirts that night.
We got buried alive.
And I remember back then, if my memory is right, and I have a good memory, I think we paid Tom Carter $300, which was big money back then. $350. We paid Debbie Capola about the same, and we just thought we were going to be like
advertising. Yeah, we thought we were going to sell a room out.
Boy, how did that happen to us, Johnny P?
I don't know, but you know what? It was good experience for the future after that.
It was. You learn a lot about yourself through failure, probably more through failure than you do success. And that was one where we just had to learn, you know what? I can remember you, because that was before cell phones. You were calling me every day. Bad boy, this isn't good. I just called the restaurant. No tickets. I'm like, don't worry, John. We're months out. It's going to be fine. And it wasn't like we started it wrong. We started it like 60 days out, giving people plenty of time. We took ads in the paper, the whole bit. I think maybe back then, people weren't ready for a comedy duo, big singer. I mean, because
I've done New Year's Eve, other places like Spiritos, and I've always had big crowds. That was the first New Year's show I ever attempted, but that was also first night Providence was going on. There was a lot of things going on. Where I don't know. Later years, I've done New Year's Eve shows and had great success.
Yeah,
like at that time period, because Tom Carter and Deborah Capola,
big names.
They were great. You know what I mean?
Big names. Big names. And especially thinking back on it, and even today, and Debbie Capola and Marilyn, if you're watching, God bless you. I love you both dearly. They're very good friends with my family. Our families are like this. Very, very, very tight. Very tight. I can remember the morning after my dad had passed away and went home to Jesus, I went to the store to pick something up, and I'm coming out, and I run into Debbie, and Debbie knew my dad was not doing well, so I told her. What does Debbie say? I'm so happy for him. Thank you, Jesus. She gives me a big, big hug. That's how close we are. So now you take it back then. who has a bigger name than the Coppolas in music? And in North Providence. You would have thought that place would have been sold out. You would have thought that we could have done 2 shows, an 8 and a 10.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to meet one time Deborah's and Marilyn's brother Arturo Coppola.
Arturo.
I met him. It was a show she was doing with her husband Jerry and the band they had.
Yep.
Now the Coppola sisters. I think Marilyn was there and Arturo was there. Arturo got up and sang a song. I talked to him. He was the nicest guy in the world. Really nice. I think I did some comedy that night, and I talked to him. And real nice guy. Real nice guy. Unfortunately, passed away way too young.
Yep, he did. He did. My mom absolutely loved Arthur. Loved him. She went to his show. Here's how much my mom loved Arturo Coppola. She kept his 8x10 headshot right next to her bed. And right next to that, he took a picture with her. You know, there's no selfies back then. So my mom had someone with a camera take a picture of her and Arturo, and she had that right next to that. My mom loved him. They, as I said, they're dear friends of my family, and they're so talented. And I'll tell you, I would have never thought in a million years that we would have not packed that place. Like I just said, I was confident that we could have done an 8 and a 10 with those 2 names, and especially Debbie and that last name Coppola in North Providence.
If you did that same show again, it'd be mobbed. If you did it, not with a pandemic going on, but if you got a big place and did that same show,
you couldn't get in there if we did that today. Yep.
Yeah.
I remember
we gave them a heck of a show back in the 90s.
Man, I'll tell you, I remember, John, when we went down the day before New Year's Eve, Debbie and Jerry come in, they're setting up, they do their sound check. I had chills going through my body. I had tears in my eyes. I'm saying to myself, man, I know we don't have a lot of tickets sold, but tomorrow morning they're going to have to build another room adjacent to this one. That's how sold out it's going to be. Unbelievable. I remember I sat down in the chair and she sang the theme to the Bodyguard, I Will Always Love You. I cried like a baby. Debbie has such a beautiful voice.
She's got an awesome voice.
Man, awesome. Does she ever. So talented. Who knew that would have flopped? But, you know, we learned from that. And I can tell you, like, years later, I had a venue call me up, wanted to do a New Year's Eve show, and I'm not going to say the name of the comic because they're a big name and they'll get mad at me. But based on our experience, I told them, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't, because I'm going to have to pay them big money, and I'm going to have to get someone to feature to open up for. I would have went with a feature to the headliner. That's going to cost me. And
I got killed.
I based on what happened,
it's not an easy business, but we learned from those early days, those early shows.
Right.
That's how you learn, and later, do things better and become more successful. You know what I mean?
Right. But like you said, let's go back. You did your own shows at Julio's. I did my own shows. They were packed. I can remember being up on the stage at Julio's, looking along the back wall. People were standing up. When we put that show together, man, I thought I was buying a brand new Cadillac.
My parents didn't even come to that show. I don't think.
Oh,
we didn't even get our parents to come.
Right, we couldn't get our parents' wisdom. They knew better. That's right. My mom and dad didn't go to it either. So you know what? We should have read into that really big. We should have read into that big time. If our parents, who were alive and well then, aren't coming, there's something wrong in Beantown here.
And on that note, bad boy, we gotta
We're
wrap
wrapping
this
it
up.
Are you serious?
Well, we could talk all night, but we're on tomorrow night.
We're on tomorrow night too.
Yeah, we got a few different comics, so we'll be doing less than tomorrow. So we got a bunch of comics on tomorrow night. So we're gonna be back at this.
All right.
Get through this pandemic.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. God still sits on the throne. As I tell you all the time in our private conversations, COVID-19 did not sneak by God. He didn't. He knows what's going on. We look to him. We look to God for our strength to guide us and direct us. John, I pray God's favor over you and Terry in the name of Jesus. I love you both so dearly. And I hope, John, that you can get Terry to come on with you and share her testimony of faith with the world, because I'll be sitting here that night with a box of Kleenex and like a 6-pack of my Lipton green tea.
You're crazy, man. How come you're not drinking vodka tonight or tequila or something?
I never drink vodka. That was always that was water. That was water.
Okay.
I like the Lipton green tea. Like today, I bought one of those big jugs of the Arizona green tea. I like that.
I drink Powerade, sugar free.
Powerade is good too. Powerade, you know, since the pandemic has come, you know what? I'm going to be on another. I can't share this story because we'll be another half hour.
We'll do this another time, man.
All right.
It was good having you, Bad Boy of Comedy.
So you have to remember, ask me tomorrow, Mike, how's your diet?
Okay, I'll remember. I'll write
Look
it down.
Look at you. Are you writing it down? I love you. I love you. You're writing it down.
All right, Mike Cronin, the Bad Boy of Comedy. We had Stacy Kendro on. I'll see you tomorrow night. Stay healthy. You're the man.
God bless you, Johnny P. I'll see you tomorrow, brother.
All right, brother.